How I overcome procrastination. Procrastination is that invisible barrier that holds us back, whether it's from folding our laundry to doing our homework, pursuing our passions, or following our dreams. Like you, I've experienced procrastination in just about every context, and I've come to accept that procrastination is just part of the process. I think we'll always feel some level of resistance to doing certain things, even if deep down we really want to do them. The key is not to try and eliminate procrastination completely, but to have a system in place to overcome it when it does inevitably arise. So in this video, I'll discuss some powerful mindsets and methods that I use to conquer that inner resistance, that nagging voice of excuses, and stop procrastinating. First, I ask myself, do I actually need to do it? Sometimes it's good to take a step back, zoom out, and ask yourself, do I actually need to do this thing? Is it something that deep down I truly want to do? Will it actually push me towards my core goals in life? Or do I just feel like I need to do this thing because of some external influence or pressure? Sometimes that is the case, and that feeling of procrastination or resistance to doing something is actually valid. This has happened to me when I haven't been truly authentic to myself and, aligned with my purpose and what I truly want to do with my life. But most of the time, I find that the more resistance I feel towards doing something, the more important it actually is for me to do that thing. And that's kind of expected because a lot of the times the things that are the most impactful and beneficial for your life are the most difficult to do or require the most, energy and focus to accomplish. If that's the case, then I'd recommend trying to make it more enjoyable. Change your emotions related to the task at hand. If you don't feel like doing something, then you probably have some sort of negative emotion associated with the thing. Procrastination at its core is just when we don't feel like doing something, so it can be helpful to break down our emotions around the thing and figure out why we don't feel like doing it. For me, I think it usually stems from this internal fear of failure or not being able to do something perfectly. I think a lot of that originated from when we were back in school and the education system sort of discouraged us from failing and made achieving perfect test scores sort of the ultimate goal in the minds of students. We can start to overcome this fear by implementing growth mindset, which is basically accepting that failure is actually good and you can actually become really good at anything that you put the work into. Talent or natural ability may give certain people a head start, but hard work, consistency, and the number of hours you put into something will always win in the end. But it could be other emotions causing you to procrastinate. Is the thing too easy or boring? If that's the case, is there a way to make it more interesting or challenging so that it's not too difficult but not too easy and sort of right in that sweet spot? Maybe the task at hand is too difficult or overwhelming, and if that's the case, I like to break it down into smaller subtasks and slowly chip away at it one by one. Another way I make myself motivated to do something is to think about all the potential positive outcomes if I complete that task. Ironically, I was kind of procrastinating filming this YouTube video, but then I thought about the fact that I might be able to help someone like me who has struggled with procrastination. I thought about all the positive comments that I've been seeing on my videos lately. I thought about the fact that I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers and this video could be the one that kind of pushes me above that milestone, and that if I keep posting videos like this where I truly try to help people and give value, then maybe one day I'll start to make some money from this channel and could potentially quit my 9-to-5 job. That positive way of thinking can work sometimes, but I've actually found that if I think about the worst case scenario or the negative outcomes that could potentially happen if I don't do the thing, then that's even more motivating. So for example, if I didn't record this video, then you would never see it. And then it's possible that you would continue to struggle with procrastination for your entire life. You'll never pursue your goals or dreams and not end up living the happiest and most fulfilling life that you deserve to live. Then I stop posting videos consistently, the channel growth starts to die, I lose motivation, then I quit YouTube altogether and just continue working my regular 9-to-5 job for my entire life, and ultimately don't end up living the most fulfilling or happy life that I could have. Yeah, this doomsday sort of worst case scenario thought process might be kind of extreme, but it definitely has worked for me in the past. Don't wait for motivation, just do it. Motivation is when we want to do something, and this will usually lead us to taking action. But people often use their lack of motivation as the reason for not doing something, but you don't need to feel like it to be able to do something. For the most difficult and impactful things in life, you might never feel motivated until you actually do the thing. Motivation can of course lead to action, but action can also create motivation. Start by just doing the thing, and then as you continue to do it, you might naturally start to feel more motivated. So for example, I might not feel too motivated to make YouTube videos at first, but I make them anyways. I start to receive positive comments and feedback, and then that makes me motivated to make even more videos. How to get started. If you want to take the route of just starting to do something even if you don't feel motivated yet, then you can follow the 5-minute rule. And you can make this the 2-minute rule, the 10-minute rule, the 15-minute rule. It doesn't really matter. You basically just tell yourself that you're you're going to work on the thing for only X minutes, only 5 minutes maybe. And more often than not, it'll only take those 5 minutes for you to get in the zone and continue focusing for even longer. Another technique you can try is to do something that feels even more difficult than the thing you're procrastinating on. You've probably experienced this when you have like a big project or an essay that you need to do that you've been procrastinating on. You'll suddenly find yourself like cleaning the dishes or mopping the floor or something that you would normally never feel motivated to do. So we can use this to our advantage by doing something that's even more difficult or uncomfortable than the main task that we've been procrastinating on. Afterwards, doing that thing won't seem as bad and it'll be much easier to get started. For me, I've been starting the day with a cold shower, and that has made getting to work afterwards a lot easier. I think cold exposure is a pretty good one that will feel naturally uncomfortable for most people, but figure out what works for you. Maybe it's meditating or working out that feels more uncomfortable, but it really depends on the individual and what in that moment feels more difficult than the main task that you need to do. For example, some people might love working out or meditating, so that wouldn't really work as well. Let me know in the comments if you've tried any of these techniques and what has or hasn't worked for you when trying to overcome procrastination. As always, do something today that your future self would thank you for.